FF14 is broken. Like from the comments of the video, I think that I think it actually is a discussion video that I've been wanting to check out because people seem to be reacting to whatever it is in the video. So we're gonna watch it. Oh, they always have such good intros. I love them. So beautiful. Like, this is totally worth watching. Like, I saw some people in the comments, they're like, oh, video starts at 2 minutes 30 seconds, but this is how you support someone. If you skip parts of the video, like, YouTube algorithm is just like, oh, you know, this video is like not worth watching.
Hello there. It's good to see you here. I thought I'd film this in my old fashionista style. But anyway, hey guys, Vance here, back with another video. If you click this video, then you must be wondering why I think Final Fantasy XIV is broken. Well, here's some things I think that are broken with the game and how I would fix it. Well, maybe you might agree with some of my points.
Can we just take a second to just appreciate this old school video style with just epic housing items and class transmog glamour and just, I don't know, just really chill atmosphere. They're so good.
Let's see. But do you know what isn't broken? Raid Shadow Legends, the sponsor of today's video. If you haven't heard about the game already then, well, I'd be surprised, because the game now has over 600 heroes to choose from, amazing graphics for a mobile phone game with millions of combinations for your party to mess around with. There are many races in Raid Shadow Legends, although one race really stands out, the Orcs. While we all know Orcs are the most of the time the bad guys in every single fantasy game you know, not in Raid though. Here the Orcs are not all that bad. While they were created by a very dark...
Like, bad is never bad for everyone. I've never played this game. Have you guys? You seem to be excited about it.
Lord, they have very good reasons to dislike most humans. After a long and hard war against the Bannerlords, High Elves and the Sacred Order, most Orcs have lost their homes and their place in the world.
That sucks.
The Orcs look really awesome, and you can see how much of the Orcs' personality and tribe shows in each design. Kreela and Golmok are two of my favourite Orcs. I think they look really cool. Needless to say, this is the best time to get started in Raid, and if you click my link in the description or scan my QR code here on the screen, you'll get a free starter pack worth almost $30. We're talking about a free champion, Aina, 200k silver, 1 energy refill, and 1 XP boost, and finally 1 ancient shard, so you can summon up awesome champions as soon as you get into the game. All this treasure will be waiting for you here. Keep in mind that...
Oh yeah, I'm not a huge mobile game person. Well, coming from someone who used to play Hearthstone, but it's different because I would only play on PC, so...
that this offer is only available for new players and only for the next 30 days. All this treasure and more will be waiting for you on Raid Shadow Legends. Thank you once again to Raid Shadow Legends for sponsoring this video, and with that, let's get on with the video. Okay, we're going to start with the glamour system. Well, some of you are already probably nodding your heads in anticipation, but let me ask you this. How many times have you been frustrated with filling up your glamour chest to 400, or being restricted to the small amount of glamour plates that we only have? I just did have to update this due to the recent live letter. They are trying...
Is this kind of like, I can't decide whether the addition of the glam plates or increasing the number of slots in a glam dresser was more important. Obviously, more glam plates is awesome, but more glam plates means that you just have more choice to make more glams with the stuff that you already have in your glam dresser, and you can't in any way, shape, or form further contribute to your glam dresser so that you can make the new stuff. So I don't know. I'm not sure this was the right order to do things, but they probably know what they're doing and, you know, the reasons behind it. I didn't understand it when they were speaking in Japanese. I don't know if they actually explained why they added plates instead of the glam dresser slots. Or maybe it's something that most people just want more. I don't know. This is just my personal take.
To up the slots to 800, but that is only adding to the broken system that they have in place and not really helping things. It really shouldn't be a thing when the competition is currently doing it better, aka Guild Wars 2 and World of Warcraft. But hear me out. I have been wondering for some time though, why do we need the appearance of a glamour piece to be a physical item?
Yeah, and WoW, in case you don't know, like once you obtain the item, you have obtained its appearance. So, for as long as you wear the item or like just like equip it so that if it's like bind on equip and not soulbound, it turns into soulbound, which means you can't trade it or sell it or whatever. After that, you can get rid of the item and you'll still have the appearance in your like transmog or glam, I'm not gonna say plates. It's just like a dresser or whatever. I don't know why it's attached to items. It's so weird.
And remain in your bag or chest. Here's my solution to fixing the glamour system as a whole. Taking a look at World of Warcraft for example, when you get an armor piece, the appearance is saved to a library.
This is well done.
Once saved, you can delete the item, sell it from your bag or whatever, and you'll still retain the appearance. I feel that Final Fantasy XIV could use a system similar to this, and it would be a better way to have glamour stored. Picture this for a moment. Imagine we had a walk-in wardrobe, and in this hypothetical wardrobe, it displays every item in the game. But not only that, it tells you which dungeon and boss it drops from,
that would be so
or
cool.
if it's a Mog Station exclusive. Whilst in this walk-in wardrobe, you could mix and match items to create sets, even if you don't have the item and save the set. It would allow you to view all these items on your character.
Imagine if we had that. Like, Lulu doesn't often make these like discussion videos, but when they do, they're smart. They're very well thought of, and I'm loving this so far.
As well. This would give so much incentive to go and collect that item piece. You could even include achievements for getting so many glamour pieces, sets, or special achievements. For getting
that might be
more of the harder to acquire items such as relics. You could even view all of the emotes in the game there too. Psst, low-key, Yoshi P, just please steal World of Warcraft's glamour system. We won't tell, I promise. If that were to never come to fruition, there is one thing that bothers me, and that I would really like to see. More of a quality of life thing actually. It would be really nice to see the ability to save hairstyles to certain outfits.
This is true, but that's not what I was gonna comment on. The cat boy talking to you actually makes you feel like they're discussing these things with you. It's such good editing and the camera movement and everything. It just makes you feel like they're not recording it within the game at all. I'm so impressed.
Because darn, Lulu's spiky hair doesn't really suit a lot of my glamours, especially ones with helm items. And even if that's too much to ask, can we for the love of Alphino be able to skip the damn cutscene with the aesthetician? Next up, the graphics. Praise Yoshi P and the development team for finally heeding out our prayers. They are uplifting the graphics and textures throughout in the next coming expansion.
The lighting
there is
updates
one
are
hope,
sick.
and please, I really hope to see the textures fixed on some of the older NPCs such as Hien or the older versions of Xenos.
Oh, the blanket! I know, right? Oh.
I did see mention of new animations coming though. I just want to point out something. Final Fantasy 1.0 had some really nice animations, especially the movement ones. Take a look at this. Notice when the character is running, they're pivoting from side to side depending on the direction they're running. And look at this, the running animation comes to a stop. It looks really cool, don't you think?
Yeah.
Please Yoshi P, just bring that back. Comparatively, 1.0 looks better and I really hope they...
That's so cute. It's like realistic, running and not running anymore. It's like when you stop, you actually do these movements with your arms. I never even saw this. Wow, that's amazing.
Animations just to make the character feel just a bit more alive. Next, the combat system. When I first started playing this game in 2013, I remember the Europe servers were located in Canada. As you can imagine, the lag was pretty horrendous for the constant ping of at least 300. Pretty much everyone I knew had to use a gaming VPN just to run the game stably. Anyway, I do have a slight gripe that I feel the combat system is still stuck there designed for the poor internet connection speeds. with a long GCD. I feel over time they have tried to tighten it up, but I feel for the gameplay to feel even more enjoyable and responsive and satisfying to lower the delay and GCD. G-pose, bloody everyone and their pet Lalafell does G-pose. It's one of my favourite things to do when I have spare time. Over the years, we've seen small quality of life changes to G-pose with the additions of stickers and character mouth movement, but now that we're on a new generation of console, and especially since the team are considering bumping up the graphics, I'd like to see a better depth of field for G-pose screenshots. It is something that is attainable with G-Shade, however I'd like to see the console players get some love too. I'd also
Wait, you can't do the same stuff in G-pose as a console player and as a PC player? What? Huh, I did not know that.
want to see the ability to change the weather and time of day. I mean, have you ever been lining up that perfect shot, but your friend is too far away, and you escape out of G-pose only to find it's pouring it down with rain, or it's nighttime? It's quite frustrating. And one more thing, the ability to place yourself and your party members in a 3D space wherever you wish. Since it's possible with that third-party tool that shall not be named, I think it's possible to implement these changes. The dungeons. Whilst I do think the dungeons are great, I do often feel the experts kind of lose their appeal after a while at max level. Especially when a new set of experts come out with a new patch rendering the previous ones quite useless. How cool would it be to have a small group challenge mode for dungeons? Looking across at Guild Wars 2 and World of Warcraft, they have special dungeons with additional affixes, so that means they could have more bosses.
Like, it's so weird to hear this song with this particular dungeon. Like, I spent ages and ages doing this dungeon, and it is not a pleasant experience. And then hearing this awesome song, it's just like, oh, like it gives you PTSD, but not PTSD, because like when these two things mix, you just like are not very sure what to feel. But I'm curious to hear about what they consider to be the reason for the loss of appeal or whatever, because I remember when I started the 6.0, when I hit max level, I would do my experts almost every day. And after a while, even though I do have jobs to gear, I'm, like I just haven't really been doing it at all, and I feel bad about it, but I can't really put my finger on it. I don't know why I don't do them. It's like I don't want to. I don't know why.
Extra health, no threat generation, and also a timed mode. This is all a challenge to mix things up, which switches on a weekly basis. They could be called something like Savage Dungeons and could be completed with friends for exclusive rewards such as glamour, hairstyles, or even titles. Cool. I think it could make things interesting for players, because there could be mechanics which will make you think what class would be best to counter them. If you're like me, then you love a good home to hang around in with friends, but housing is not perfect. The system is admittedly quite janky, to the point that there is a community built upon housing glitching, which I don't feel is a good thing to have. I think there needs to be better tools for housing implemented. If people can place objects anywhere in a 3D space using glitches, then it is possible to create a system in the game to do it. So what I feel the housing system needs is something akin to WildStar's housing system, the ability to place objects wherever you like in the house. This will allow everyone regardless of skill level to unleash their creativity. Also, regarding large and medium houses, they really need more slots for placement enabled, especially large houses.
I haven't even thought of this. So does your house look a little empty when you have a large one? Like, I can't actually believe you don't have more slots. That is so weird.
It's quite often that I'll go into a large house and people just block off the basement. It's because there's just too much space for items allowed to be used. Now that we're in 2022 and everybody seems to be on newer hardware, the limit should be raised in my opinion on placement. Okay, I've shared some points. I asked you, the community, what would you change with Final Fantasy XIV if you had the choice? Here's some of the responses
Clipping.
that I had. King Peng says, All my issues with Final Fantasy XIV are related to UI, especially that I come from a much cleaner and polished one in World of Warcraft. I even used LVUI if you're familiar with that. Things in Final Fantasy XIV are very cluttered and frustrating. I don't mind the shapes or old school looks, it actually adds a classical flair to it, but I really dislike how clunky things are and how they can be tedious to go through every day, like repairing your gear, the market board, retainer, UI for example.
Yeah, I get
TLDR,
that.
please give better UI. Next, J-Lock. Off the top of my head, I could list a bunch of stuff about how long it takes to gear off jobs, but that's a boring answer. I would make
I don't think it's about the gearing. I think it's about the gear. Like when you level. For me, like the biggest issue is fitting it all into the armory chest, constantly worrying about what you can delete, what you can't delete, what you should or shouldn't do. It's just so hard to the point. I'm at the point where I just can't wait for all my, let's say, all my tanks or all my healers to hit, I don't know, level 60 or level 70 or whatever, so that I can get rid of these pieces of gear that are clogging my armory chest, because I buy them for my tombstones. And I need more space. It's just so hard.
things more account centric and not character based. That way, playing an alt wouldn't be as painful or as tedious to keep up to date for everything. Like make housing account based so I can at least have a hotspot for my alt to repair and whatnot. Also make glamour account based so that I don't have to farm or spend gil for glam that I already have on my main. Val says, finally, better graphics, but they're working on that. Make content not as static so that everything has to get dumbed down. Customization in skills is pretty much non-existent. How about 1 second cast time on BLM but bad damage, or 5 second cast time but higher damage? The current system doesn't allow for that at all because content is made for specific numbers. Glamour previewer of some sorts, or in-game lodestone with a better search.
True.
Make fates more viable, make them actually interesting and useful, like more bigger, fancy fates with dynamic rewards and not just hide gems behind them, and nobody is doing them anymore anyway. If you've stuck around until this point, thank you very much for watching. Well, let me pose the question to you. If you could fix or change anything in Final Fantasy XIV, what would you do? I will be reading the comments, so do let me know. And that's all for me. I'm Vance, signing off.
That's a good video. What I wanna check out is actually the comments of the people who replied to this. I don't disagree, especially how some glitches. There's no reason why people should have to glitch the game to get the design on they want. I think this is important that no one actually talked about. I want PvP to have a competitive, rewarding PvP system. PvP balance is an issue that every game struggles with. I honestly don't know much about this one per se because I haven't gotten that deep into PvP, but I can see how casual everyone is when they queue into just like ordinary daily things like front lines. No one really knows what they're doing, and I feel like there should be a little more incentive for that. With WoW, Lost Ark, Guild Wars 2, and other MMO titles have found a way to incentivize PvP in a way FF14 hasn't yet, and I hope it's okay. Yeah, I think people are really bothered by the title, and I can see you guys in chat also just kind of, making that comment as well. It isn't broken. It is somewhat of a, clickbaity title to get you to realize that it's not like a highlight video or whatever, so people are reacting to that. I guess that's fine. Love to have the coloring system like in Guild Wars 2, unlock colors once and use them forever. I mean, that would kind of be nice in a way that, like, I mean, my bags are clogged with dyes that I want to have on me at all times. And it's just really hard to keep up with that. Imagine if you could do like a Beast Tribe quest or whatever and just have access to these colors that you've unlocked because you finished your Beast Tribes quest. I think that would be pretty cool. Yeah, people agree with me about the clickbait title, I guess. That's on the part about the glamour system. I believe Yoshi P said it in an interview a few months back that they tried implementing WoW's transmog collection system and it constantly broke their test servers. Feels bad. Guess they have to work on it a little more. I think they should make more content like this. Like the highlight videos are good, but I really think that this is something we need more of when it comes to their content. It's hard to ask for anything because of the recent demonetization, but I really like it.